I invite you all to gently close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale slowly and exhale fully. Allow each breath to soften the body, quiet the mind, and open the heart. Just take a moment now to recognize that you are here by divine invitation, drawn inward by a sacred desire to grow, to awaken, and to deepen your spiritual awareness. In this stillness, affirm silently, there is one presence, one power, moving through all of life and expressing as wisdom, love, and infinite possibility. And know that that presence lives within all of us. As you continue breathing, bring your attention to the flame of zeal within you, your inner longing for spiritual growth. Just notice it without judgment. Perhaps it feels strong and vibrant, or perhaps it feels quiet, waiting to be rekindled. Whatever you notice, know that it's perfect. Now gently affirm, the spirit within me is always alive, always expanding. Know that your desire for growth is sacred and is guided by divine intelligence. Now silently say, I welcome a renewed zeal for spiritual growth. I am ready to evolve, to learn, and to embody a greater truth. Know that the zeal within you is not something you must force. It is already within you because it is part of your divine nature. Your role is simply to allow yourself to say yes to it. In this moment, release any resistance, any doubt, any belief that you're not progressing fast enough. Affirm instead, I grow in perfect timing. Every step I take is guided and meaningful. My spiritual journey unfolds with grace and joy. And as you continue to breathe, feel your awareness expanding beyond limitation. See yourself inspired, eager to pray, to meditate, to learn, to serve. See yourself living with purpose aligned with truth. Let this vision become a feeling, a living current within you. Now affirm with me to anchor this realization. Divine zeal flows through me effortlessly. I am energized by spirit. I am committed to my growth, and I am supported by the infinite. And just continue to breathe and allow that affirmation to settle deeply into your consciousness. In this sacred stillness, give thanks. Give thanks for the presence within you that never stops growing, never stops becoming more. When you are ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your body. Begin to notice your breath, your surroundings. And know that you will carry this renewed zeal with you, knowing that each moment is an opportunity to grow, to love, and to awaken more fully to who you truly are. And as always, we know that within divine truth, as always, our thoughts are prayers. And so it is.
Please join me. This song was written by a former member of ours. We were on the wedding road. She had a trio, and she has a CD, and she's moved somewhere west, somewhere in Michigan, but she goes to Unity there too, and she's Zeal, and she's this wonderful lady. So now it's Redstone.
All right. Thanks for the info, Annie. So, today, we will be continuing our series on the 12 powers, and we are focused this day on zeal. Zeal!
Zeal!
Yes. As you all know, zeal is one of the 12 powers of humanity identified by Charles Fillmore. Zeal is the spiritual power of enthusiasm, intensity, and the ability to move ideas into action. It is the driving force that gives energy to faith, love, and wisdom. Without zeal, spiritual understanding may remain only a theory. Zeal motivates us to express ideas in practical ways and to pursue our spiritual growth with determination. According to Unity teachings, the Zeal Center has its throne in the Vinion in the back of the head near the base of the brain. This center governs enthusiasm, executive power, and dynamic action. When spiritually directed, it empowers individuals to accomplish worthwhile goals, express divine energy, and fulfill their God-given purpose. Of course, the 12 powers work in conjunction with each other, so balanced by wisdom and guided by love, zeal becomes a powerful force for spiritual growth and successful living. Now, in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, Simon the Zealot represents the spiritual power of zeal. He symbolizes enthusiasm and energetic devotion directed towards spiritual purposes. Now, because zeal is a God-given power or divine law, it should not be suppressed. Suppressing zeal can lead to frustration, stagnation, or a lack of spiritual growth. Instead, we must learn to use zeal wisely, and Unity teaches that every spiritual power has a proper place and purpose. Zeal becomes constructive when it is guided by understanding and divine love. But this is why zeal must be tempered with wisdom. Uncontrolled zeal can become fanaticism, impulsiveness, or emotional excess. Wisdom provides balance and discernment. Together, wisdom and zeal enable a person to act effectively and harmoniously. Wisdom determines the right course of action, while zeal provides the energy ready to carry that out. Okay. Like I said earlier, there's buzz around this church.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
Our buildings filled with seed.
Yeah. Zeal plays an important role in developing genius and exceptional ability. Persistent enthusiasm and concentrated interest awaken dormant capacities within our consciousness. A person who applies zeal to a particular field develops skill, mastery, and creative expression. Genius is often the result of intense dedication combined with spiritual inspiration and disciplined effort. And all those things, to keep going, requires zeal. So I'm going to give you an example of zeal from the Old Testament, and that would be Nehemiah. If you're not familiar with Nehemiah, it's a powerful example of the spiritual quality of zeal. This story takes place at the end of the Babylonian exile. The Nehemiah story demonstrates his quality as he responds to the broken condition of Jerusalem and dedicates himself to rebuilding its walls. Remember, during the exile, Babylon attacks Jerusalem. They destroy the temple. They grab all the spiritual leaders in the elite class, and they're exiled to Babylon. So they're no longer at the temple. There are still Jews in Israel, but they're mostly the workers and things like that Babylon needs to tend the fields and tend the flocks and things like that. So Nehemiah was one of these elite that was in Babylon. And when he learned that Jerusalem lay in ruins, he did not ignore the problem or become discouraged. Instead, he prayed, he sought guidance from God, and then he took decisive action. Now remember that metaphysically, Jerusalem represents the consciousness of peace. Jerusalem, Salem, peace. Right? It represents peace and the spiritual harmony within us. The broken walls of Jerusalem symbolize weaknesses in our thoughts and beliefs that leave us vulnerable to fear, doubt, and negativity. So Nehemiah's desire to build the walls represents the awakening of zeal within our consciousness, a determination to restore spiritual order and strength. Now, throughout the rebuilding process, Nehemiah faced opposition, criticism, and attempts to distract him from his work. Yet he remained focused on his purpose, and this illustrates an important lesson about zeal. True zeal is not mere excitement or emotional intensity. It is a steady, disciplined enthusiasm directed by wisdom. Nehemiah's famous response to his critics, "I am doing a great work so that I cannot come down," reflects the commitment required to stay faithful to our spiritual goals despite external challenges. From a unity perspective, Nehemiah represents the faculty within us that refuses to accept limitation and disorder. Zeal energizes our faith, strengthens our resolve, and inspires us to continue our spiritual growth. And as she talked about earlier, when you're working all the time and you've only got so many minutes to get ready for work, right? It's hard. It's hard to keep going. You just got to find that time and zeal that allows you to focus in on that and remember what's important. So when guided by divine wisdom, zeal helps us rebuild the walls of spiritual understanding, creating a consciousness that is strong, peaceful, and aligned with God. But the story of Nehemiah also reminds us that spiritual progress requires more than good intentions. It requires zeal, the active living energy of spirit. So you can write down your goals in a list, and I know people that do that. Every single day they'll write out what they need to accomplish and what they did. And that makes us feel good that we got everything organized. But without zeal, you're not going to go down your list. You're just going to lay it down, and then you're going to go about your day, and the distractions of everyday life is going to get you. So as we cultivate the power of zeal within ourselves, we become capable of overcoming obstacles, restoring harmony in our lives, and building a stronger awareness of God's presence. Like Nehemiah, we can face every challenge with courage, determination, and the joyful enthusiasm that comes from knowing we are working with a divine purpose and in accordance with divine law. Sounds great. But there's a problem. There is a downside to zeal if it's not used properly. And I'm going to give you the most obvious example in the New Testament. Judas Iscariot. He provides an example of how zeal can be misdirected when it's not guided by wisdom, faith, and spiritual understanding. Zeal is a strong enthusiasm or passionate desire to accomplish a goal. Now, Judas was one of the 12 disciples who was devoted enough to follow Jesus very closely. You know, through most of the story, he's actually very important and a good guy and very close to Jesus. However, his zeal appears to have been focused more on his own expectations and ambitions than on understanding Jesus' true mission. Rather than trusting the divine plan, Judas became dissatisfied when events did not unfold according to his desires. His name was Iscariot. Nobody knows for sure what the last name Iscariot actually meant. It's sort of close to a word that means from the town, but that doesn't make any sense. You're either, Judas of Galilee, he could have been Judas of wherever he was from, okay, or he could have been named of his father, whoever his father was. Iscariot is kind of a strange word. There were people called Sicariot, and so a lot of people speculate that Iscariot is just a little switch-up of the word Sicariot. Sicariots wanted to throw the Romans out of Rome, and their tactic was to sneak up on people with robe. They wear a robe and they put a knife called a Sicari in their robe. And they would go after other Jews who were cooperating with the Romans. So it's pretty clear that when Jesus came along, he was expecting an armed revolt. And here's Jesus with his message of peace and love. And he wasn't happy with that. That's what it looks like probably occurred. So, from a spiritual perspective, Judas allowed personal ambition, disappointment, and attachment to material outcomes to influence his actions. His intense desire for a particular result may have led him to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Instead of expressing zeal through faith, loyalty, and spiritual growth, he directed his energy toward fear, control, and self-interest. His example shows that even strong enthusiasm can become destructive when separated from divine wisdom and love. And we've all known zealots, right? People who are zealous about this thing or the next, but how often are you listen to them and oh no, this isn't good, right? We see it all the time. So in Unity, New Thought terms, Judas symbolizes a state of consciousness that seeks to force outcomes rather than trust the unfolding of divine order. His story teaches that zeal must be balanced with spiritual understanding. When zeal is guided by faith and love, it becomes a powerful force for good. When it is driven by ego and personal desires, it can lead to poor choices and suffering. And this is because divine law is divine law. It's going to work. You can misdirect it, or you can direct it properly. And you're going to get a different result based on which way you go with it. It's like fire. How could we survive without fire? But if you just set a forest on fire, that's not good. You didn't direct that fire properly. It's got to be controlled. So the lesson of Judas Iscariot as a spiritual seeker should cultivate not only enthusiasm for their goals, but also wisdom, discernment, and alignment with God's will, which is divine law. And using that zeal in accordance with divine law is the key, because as I just said, divine laws cannot be broken because they are an expression of the unchanging nature of God. People may appear to violate divine principles, but in reality, they simply experience the consequences of acting contrary to them. Just as one cannot break the law of gravity, but only suffer the results of ignoring it, one cannot break divine law. Divine law remains constant and always works toward the ultimate goal of all creation. So there are two aspects of divine law that we always need to remember. Just as we teach right here at Unity of Flint, the combinations of thoughts held in consciousness affect both soul and body. Thoughts of love, faith, peace, and joy create harmony in the soul and contribute to physical well-being. Thoughts of fear, anger, resentment, or discouragement tend to produce discord and tension. Unity teaches that the body is a manifestation of consciousness, and therefore our habitual patterns of thinking influence our overall health and experience. When Jesus said, "The very hairs of your head are numbered," he was expressing the truth that divine intelligence is aware of every detail of our being, every thought, every breath. Nothing in creation is exempt from divine law or overlooked by God. The statement emphasizes the precision, order, and loving care of divine law operating throughout the universe and within every aspect of our lives. And that's why we've got to stay positive and directed. So I've got 7 steps here to increase our zeal. In case you're lacking or down a little bit, I want to tell you that regular prayer and meditation help you connect with the divine presence within. And as you become more aware of God's life flowing through you, enthusiasm will naturally increase. Take a moment every day to affirm your divine energy. Use positive affirmations such as the zeal of God energizes and inspires me. Repeating affirmations helps awaken your inner spiritual power, and I'm sure that comes as a surprise to none of us in this room, right?
Is that number 2?
That's number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 is focus on a meaningful purpose. Zeal grows when you have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. Keeping your spiritual goals in mind gives them direction and energy. Here's something we're big on here as well, number 4. Study inspiring spiritual teachings. Reading the Bible or unity literature or uplifting books can renew your enthusiasm and strengthen your commitment to spiritual growth. And then this is where zeal also comes in heavily. Take positive action, that's number 5. Zeal increases through use. Even small steps toward your goals build momentum and create greater enthusiasm. So you might not make your goals so big. You might make a bunch of little goals leading to a big goal. That way you can check your list like Annie does when she goes through her daily routine, right?
I love chicken.
Yes, it feels good every time you draw a line through that. It's like I put on my socks. Shoot, oh. I did it. You gotta start somewhere. It's a small victory, but I get my socks on. Also, number 6 is very important. Associate with enthusiastic people. Spending time with spiritually minded and positive individuals can encourage and inspire you to express more zeal in your own life. If you want to know where those people are, just show up here on Sunday. We got lots of them. Not here today, but... Number 7, this is something we also talk about constantly here. Practice gratitude. Giving thanks for the good already present in your life shifts your attention from limitation to possibility and energizes your thoughts and actions. The Bible, the New Testament, reflects the importance of zeal in Romans 12:11. It says, never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. So as you consciously develop your awareness of God's presence and put spiritual principles into practice, zeal becomes a powerful force for growth, service, and transformation. Now, I want to take this in a different direction slightly. Successful people in every field use zeal as focused and sustained enthusiasm that drives them toward their goals. Zeal, in this sense, is more than excitement. It is a deep commitment. It keeps a person moving forward despite obstacles, setbacks, or delays in success. Sometimes successful people demonstrate this principle without realizing it. They combine their enthusiasm, persistence, and vision, and disciplined action, and their zeal keeps their minds focused on possibilities rather than their limitations. This enables them to transform ideas into tangible results, because just as the Apostle Paul wrote, it is good to be zealously affected always in a good thing. That's from Galatians 4:18. And when zeal is aligned with wisdom and purpose, it becomes a powerful tool for success. So I got another list for you. You ready?
Okay.
Some ways successful people use zeal include, number 1, maintaining a clear vision. Successful people are passionate about a specific goal and keep that goal constantly in mind. Zeal helps them stay focused when distractions arise. Number 2, take consistent action. Zeal motivates successful people to work diligently day after day. Rather than relying on occasional bursts of effort, they develop disciplined habits that move them closer to their objectives. So if you're going to make a commitment to pray and meditate every morning, pick that time. Okay, I'm going to do it. 6:30 a.m. That's my meditation time. Nothing's going to stop me from doing that. And that's when you do it. 6:30. You watch it. You do it. Number 3, continuously learn. Successful individuals often have a zeal for growth. They read, study, seek mentors, and learn from failures rather than becoming discouraged by them. Every failure is an opportunity, right? And you never get where you're going, you never become successful without experiencing failure first. Nobody does. Number 4, it's important to persevere through challenge. Zeal provides emotional energy during difficult times. When others quit, a zealous person often continues because their commitment is stronger than their temporary discomfort. And number 5, this is one that's overlooked, but it's also important. This is number 5 and the last one. Inspiring others. Enthusiasm is contagious. Business leaders and entrepreneurs often use their zeal to motivate employees, partners, investors, and customers to support a shared vision. That's very important in any type of success. You've got to bring others along with you.
What was number 1 again? Maintain what?
Clear vision.
Maintaining a clear vision, yes.
Thank you.
Don't have that cloudy vision. Okay, so now we're moving to the next portion of my little talk here, and right here I have to admit something that might surprise you. I am not a billionaire.
Not yet.
Not yet.
There you go, that's positive.
But I'm not even a millionaire. But I'm going to tell you why. Growing up, my mother wanted to inspire me to become successful in business, so she encouraged me to read books that were meant to drive me toward a life of acquiring great wealth and power. So I read a lot of books. So I read a lot of books about successful people when I was younger. Biographies about successful businessmen like J.D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, Thomas Jefferson, J.P. Morgan. They all have very interesting stories. And as I was reading these, it did inspire me at the time. I had a lawn mowing business at 14, all over the neighborhood, shoveled snow, did gutters, had a cigar box full of $1 bills that I would count. Also had a coin collection, and I would just for fun go through my coin collections. That was the type of thing I did. And that kept me motivated to get out there and mow the lawn. I bought a $25 lawnmower at a garage sale. Started with that, and the wheel fell off. But by then I had enough money to buy a $50 lawnmower. But I want to talk about one of the biographies I read at an early age. Is a story of success that still inspires me today whenever I start to feel like I'm winding down, or that it's too late to achieve success because of my rapidly advancing age. I feel it every morning. But this is the story of Colonel Sanders. Colonel Harlan Sanders was an American businessman best known as the founder of the fast food company KFC. He was born in 1890 in Indiana, not Kentucky, but it's close. But Sanders faced many hardships throughout his life. He worked a variety of jobs, including, this is the part that I relate to, he worked a lot of jobs, and so did I when I was younger. The jobs he had included farm labor, streetcar conductor, and insurance salesman. But despite numerous setbacks, he remained determined and continued searching for opportunities to succeed. He never gave up. He had zeal. In the 1930s, Sanders began serving meals to travelers at a service station in Kentucky. His fried chicken became especially popular because of its unique blend of herbs and spices and his pressure cooking method, which allowed chicken to be prepared quickly while remaining flavorful. As his reputation grew, he expanded his business and eventually developed a franchise system that allowed restaurants across the country to serve his famous chicken. But what inspires me, and this is one of the most inspiring aspects of Sanders' life, is that he achieved his greatest success later in life. After working all those odd jobs, not getting anywhere. Even his little restaurant business struggled that he had in the gas station. So he began traveling throughout the United States in his 60s, promoting his chicken recipe to restaurant owners. His persistence paid off, and KFC grew into one of the world's most recognized restaurant chains. It was all because he had that pressure cooker. It made all the difference. 11 herbs and spices? Yeah, and he had those, but it was mainly the pressure cookers. So Colonel Sanders is remembered not only for his contribution to the fast food industry, but also as an example of perseverance, hard work, and determination. He believed in his chicken. He took that chicken all over the place. And he made chicken for a lot of restaurant owners and made them try it, and they liked it, and that's how he got big. So success can come at any age, as long as a person remains committed to their vision and continues to pursue their goals despite obstacles. So all these stories, as a kid, did inspire me. And like I said, I mowed lawns and shoveled snow, cleaned gutters and all that. And I did have some success at a young age. I was a manager at a sporting goods store at 19. And I was a sales manager at a Ford dealership at 27. But by 30, I realized something was missing. I lost my zeal. I realized that this pursuit of economic success at the expense of everything else was unfulfilling. I realized at that age that in order to be successful, I had to spend a great deal of time and direct all my energy toward making money. It took everything I had. Because not only am I not a billionaire, I'm not a genius either. Because that does help. Not bad. So for me, the sacrifice wasn't worth it. I realized that I needed to go in a different direction. I needed to find out what was important to me and pursue a future that reflected my own values. And that's why I was so lucky to stumble upon Unity. Remember the sign we just talked about? I stumbled upon that sign. That same logo was in the newspaper. And I saw it. The Flint Journal used to have a section for just church advertising. And all this church had was a little tiny box with the bird on it. And it just said Unity, and but I liked it. I mean, I saw all these big ads and all these fancy fonts and everything, and down in the corner there's this little tiny thing. And what I really liked as a young man was that it started at 11. Genius. That was a genius idea that we continue to this day. Because what was important to me at that time, more than anything, was self-improvement. I wanted to be a better person. I was a used car salesman. I was so good and ripped so many people off that they promoted me a few times. And I tried to do it honestly, and I wasn't really good at it. I was tricky. That's who I was, and it just felt bad because I would meet people in dealership I genuinely liked, and even when I tried to cut them a break, my boss usually wouldn't. And that's the way things were in the car business back then. I have no idea how they are now. But back then we wore loud clothes, we had the ugly sport coats, all that. And slicked our hair. I was slick, Mr. Slick, that's what I was. But I stumbled on Unity, and I wanted to be a better person. And that took me down this path, and that's why I'm here today at this church. At this church, I get to be around the type of people I want to be. That's also why, like most of you, enjoy taking Unity classes just like I do. At least most of you do. It's also why I care so much about growing this church. As hard a task as that is, there is nothing harder than growing a church in this day and age. You can get anything you need on the internet. but you don't get the sense of community. And that's what we have here at Eden as a Church of Fun. We do so much, even for such a small group. So we must find ways to succeed at this goal. We must find ways to maintain and increase our motivation toward this goal. We must maintain our zeal for growth in ourselves, in our church. So I just want you to remember that zeal is a vital spiritual power that energizes human consciousness and transforms divine ideas into action, but also remember that each of the 12 powers play important roles in our spiritual development. Don't forget the rest of it. But as we learn to balance enthusiasm and understanding, we become more effective channels for expressing the Christ presence and manifesting our divine potential. And so it is. And Annie's going to exercise her divine potential at the microphone for another song. Thank you, Annie. And now we're going to move on to the next portion of our service, which is blessing the love offering. So if you have it with you, please take it in your hand. We have various ways you can give. And now let's say the love offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and increases all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And don't forget there is a basket in the back, and it's actually there today
Yeah.
where you can leave your love offering.